Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. On this podcast. This is the second, episode in our series where we are kind of hosting founders along with somebody who invests in a startup. And today I've got Saurabh with me, who is building a very innovative product, and I've got Gaurav as well. Gaurav has been in the industry for the last 16, 17 years, occupied CXO level positions in the last organization, and plus has also recently started investing in startups. And I've got Saurabh. I know Saurabh for the last 6 months now. Very passionate founder. Have been building in the space of emotional health, health of the employees, employee wellness space. I welcome you both. And if both of you can take us through your journey, maybe in a bit, maybe this will help the audience get a good context. Over to you, Saurabh.
Oh, hi. Thanks, Rishikesh, for bringing us in here. I have been a thorough professional so far in L&D, done my engineering PG and whatever I could do to get into this space. Even deliberate attempt to get into my space that I'm today. Otherwise, I would have been working into engineering somewhere in a plant. So I have been working in a talent development space for more than 10 years now. Work with companies like Tata Motors, PNP Paribas, and done my bit in terms of technology when people are not talking about it, back then that time. And I ventured into my own, startup post and even in 2020, which led to me trying out my journey with entrepreneurship. And it's been almost 4 to 5 years now. I've been trying things. I've worked on. I've built two products already, which didn't work out, and then finally with enablers, which actually worked out, and now moving forward together. There's much more I can share as a story later. Thank you.
Yeah, Gaurav.
Thank you, Rishikesh, for the very kind words. I am an industry professional. I've been in the industry for the last 16 years, worked with companies like General Electric and Amazon in the past. My last role was as a chief operating officer at a basmati rice exporter based out of New Delhi. Um, Talking about my angel investing days, I have invested in two companies so far. Both of them, I was part of the family, friends, and fools round. Apart from that, I have completed the VC 101 course with the Indian Venture and Alternate Capital Association, which has given me a background in the private equity and the venture capital ecosystem here in India, how it evolved. And lately, I've been following the SEBI guidelines on the latest changes with regards to this particular space. So I'm happy to learn more about Saurabh and the other enterprises that we'll be talking about further.
Great. People usually talk about success, and Saurabh basically mentioned that the third attempt, has started getting some traction from the industry. But Saurabh would like to understand from you that, if you could take us through your learnings from your earlier attempts at building products and businesses.
Right. That's a big thing, because you don't know what is going to happen. So I'll tell you exactly. Then uh, I lost my job in COVID, and post that we have gone through a lot, me, my wife, and all, and that I'll tell you how enablers happened later. But before this is that I just started doing something, to get myself up and earning or something. And first product that I tried to build in 2000, which was actually in my mind since 2017, when nobody was talking about AI and there was no expertise available. So that time, if you had to hire people, you would say that how much would you rate in terms of confidence to building this. And I actually got one person on board that time. He said 8. That was the only person who said 8. So what we were doing is, I found that it's very cluttered market, entire tailoring space, personalized clothing experience. Okay. Yeah. And when people move from one place to another, they are still in love with the tailors, especially women, because India has been a women dominated market when it comes to personalized clothing. Right? Then we moved from Malad to Mira Road. And my wife is like, go to Malad again, go to Malad again. That's what was happening. Then I found, let's find out from more people if this is really a problem. And I been a master trainer also from Dale Carnegie. So I used to train people. I was a blazer guy completely that time, and I used to get my blazer done, totally completely personalized. I also started having the same problem. So then we actually still remember, I surveyed around 270 people to find out, is this a real problem? And it came out to be a good problem to have, right? And then I factored into pricing thing and everything. And my only idea was कि क्या घर बैठे मैं body measurement दे सकता हूँ. And then I looked at Raymond. Some people tried a lot of things like go to YouTube, how to use inch tape and measure and write on the application. There were a lot of applications already. But my vision was, can we do it like this? Because तुमको hassle नहीं चाहिए. So uh, I started. The brand name is Tailor Cart, by the way, never came out, and it's still patent is on like trademark is on my name. So I was building an application where you can take your body measurement in 20 seconds just through a flip of your body. Just keep your mobile against the wall, come 3 feet away, and just do a flip, and measurement is captured. And we had to do that time. People were asking me because AI was very new, 2 crore, 3 crore rupees to develop something like that. Just out of my sheer idea, can we do something like this? And then बहुत स्टडी करने के बाद काफी लोगों से मिलने के बाद I said okay, let's do it on our own. So I started working on it, conceptualized, looked at other countries, European countries and all those things. बहुत सारे research किए. Then I decided in a budget of 5 lakhs कि we will do this on our own. Got one person on board, and that guy was doing PhD from BITS Pilani, machine learning उसको आता था, and then he said on confidence level, this was the selection method that how much you rate yourself. He said 8. I said, "Aa jao." We really worked on the first model. Okay, it really started. And by the time we were piloting, put it on Android also, we realized कि अब और fund चाहिए इसके लिए. That was so innovative idea, disruptive kind of thing, and our idea started taking change in terms of go to market strategy. From completely a tailoring space where we were thinking of aggregating tailors, we moved to designers, personal, individual designers, and then it gave us scale also. We can go anywhere in the world. But by that time there was no fund, nothing, and my partner also left. तो उसको मैंने पार कर दिया, और वो फर्स्ट मॉडल बना हुआ कहीं पे रखा हुआ है हमारे पास आज भी, बट देयर वाज नो इंटेलिजेंस अवेलेबल टू ऑप्टिमाइज द मॉडल. ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था उसका. नो इंटेलिजेंस अवेलेबल. मतलब पीपल वर ट्राइंग, एंड द प्रॉब्लम विद आईटी इज लाइक ऑल दी सॉफ्टवेयर गाइस, दे विल टेल यू, दे विल नेवर से नो. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम. इफ समवन इज वेरी ऑनेस्ट एंड से दैट कि इतना परसेंट कर सकता हूं तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो. बट यस, इट वाज लाइक काफी टाइम दिया था हमने इसमें, बट आई पार्क दैट कि नहीं हो पाएगा. एंड देन already COVID was really harsh on everybody. So my partner left. That was Taylor Card. What I learned is in that thing is like ki, even if you could be very early to the market with an idea. And when I used to talk about this with women or anybody, they used to say wow is the word only मुंह से आता था. अरे यार ऐसा भी हो सकता है. 20 second में, and Raymond has tried lot of things and still not successful, by the way. Okay, so people do not have this idea, the flip of it just came. The moment I hired someone, I was like jumping out of bed and laughing कि यार अब तो इसको कर लेंगे. Did I will not say it failed because उस समय competencies available नहीं थे, बिल्कुल नहीं थे, and that was there. So Taylor Card happened, it went away. Then I thought, okay, let's do something which I know and done well in life. So we built another platform called Tutorial. Tutorial wasn't marketplace for only trainers. Okay, it was in line with Kajabi and Thinkific, जो US based platforms है, right? And we kind of make it. My playbook has been mostly always affordability and scalability, right? Compared to other platforms, it was very expensive, and user experience we are working on. How you can assess yourself and everything on the platform itself worked well. We launched I got a partner in Australia. Registered a company there. Here also started getting customer from India. But my both partners couldn't actually survive in COVID. They just left थी लोगों को, and person working in Australia, can you imagine the kind of salary he must be getting? Yes. It was not possible. And slowly COVID खत्म हो गया. COVID खत्म हो गया. Then when I am going to market my product, किसी से बात कर रहा हूँ, तो it became a very cluttered market. Every now and then, मतलब those kind of products could have been built by anyone. We started feeling in different segments, like academia segment अलग है और corporate segment अलग है. And then we found that कि anybody can build this. There was no moat. I started feeling that, and by that time I was left alone, and I actually had to shut that company down. That was January, almost December 22, something like that. कंपनी क्लोज होने में इंडिया में बहुत टाइम लगता है. बंद तो पहले ही हो गया था, but it took 6 months time to close the company. Then I realized we should never close the company.
Yes.
So that was my tutorial. से मेरा एक बहुत अच्छा learning ये है कि get the shittiest product out. Don't start building a good product. We spent lot of time, और उसमें मतलब ऐसा लगा कि कोविड में हम जल्दी लॉन्च कर सकते थे, लेकिन हमने अच्छा बनाने के चक्कर में बहुत डिले कर दिया, and then we could have acquired more customer. But that is one thing. Secondly, I also learned that कि never be in a hurry to get a co-founder on board.
Absolutely. Right.
And it's like because वो probably I was wrong in judgment of assessing that fire inside, जिसमें लोग decide कर लेते कि नहीं और कुछ करना ही नहीं है, तो वैसे लोग मुझे नहीं मिले. And then I also learned that कि action करने वाले लोग बहुत कम है.
Right.
मतलब you really need to see that कि I don't मतलब you know like how do I work today and how I फिर you
Yes.
start expecting कि सामने वाला बंदा भी वैसे काम करेगा, you know, and then I really still feel that action करने वाले लोग बहुत कम है, you know, daily basis पे and you should have that fire in your belly कि मतलब ये नहीं तो ये नहीं तो ये. And I
Right.
also learned that कि you should never sail on two boats. There would be a lot of discussion on this and could be different views also, but I respect those views as well. But I'm just telling कि अगर आप दो चीज एक साथ कर रहे हो ना, तो it just increases your timeline, nothing else. Because if I'm doing just one thing, I know that अगर ये काम नहीं कर रहा तो I will do this or go to someone else because I'm just focusing on one thing, you know, that I believe. So I realized that my Australia company got closed because of that, because job और वो दोनों साथ में थी and then something took over, you know, and then because वो priorities अलग ही हो जाती है. So ये मेरे learnings रहे हैं अभी तक कि product कभी perfect मत बनाओ before launching, get the shittiest thing out, get started talking to the target you know, audience and get their feedback, then make and all those things.
Exactly.
So that was there.
I completely echo your thoughts because यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस विद लीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टफ, तो उसमें सबसे पहले यही कहते हैं गो टू द गेम्बा, जो शॉप फ्लोर है जहाँ पे एक्टिविटी हो रही है वहाँ जाकर यू हैव टू लुक एट दोज थिंग्स
Right.
and then figure out how things are happening. So in the context of a startup, it has to be talking to your customer, understanding what the customer wants, and then shipping it out. So the other thing that you pointed out was agency. So you have to have agency, execution, action from the founder or from the founding team needs to be there. If it is not there, if it is lacking, then obviously there is no one who's going to talk about the startup. If the founder or the founding team are not willing to talk about themselves or the product that they're building, then no one is going to care. No one cares.
Absolutely, you're right. See, I'm a very introvert kind of person and never had those luxury of, you know, lot of born homie, what you call, you know, spending time with people. But yes, I really see that कि अभी as of now, a co-founder should be like a 2 a.m. friend. अभी तो अभी ये कर रहे हैं तो ये कर रहे हैं, अरे आजा ये opportunity आई है, ये discuss करना है. मतलब it's like how could you miss those things? नहीं कर सकते, वो होता नहीं है. ऋषिकेश was actually advising me कि थोड़ा आराम कर ले भाई, you know, because the whole week of Diwali was killing for me. I could not reach out to anyone. Everybody just relaxing. I know it's a phase, but still I'm at 0 to 1. But so I kept doing the back end work, whatever I could do. That helped me this week also. But वो अलग ही एक पागलपन कुछ भी कहो, but वो है मतलब how to make this successful. And in my journey of building enablers, which I'll talk right, like we started very differently and we learned from people and then we pivoted, you know. That's how the journey has been.
So Gaurav, on this particular context, you know, Saurabh very succinctly mentioned about the learnings that he had in the last two ventures that he did. You have been talking to a lot of startups, like you have been telling me that you talk to 5 to 6 startups every day. Do you think there is a common kind of reasons why these startups maybe fail or kind of are not able to survive?
Thank you, Rishikesh, for that question. At a certain level, I believe that discovery is a challenge. That discovery of the startup founder or the startup idea per se in the ecosystem also is a challenge. So, like yesterday, I actually went to DTU and met a third year engineering student who's building a prompt to CAD product. So you raise an AI prompt and the engine. So he's developing the engine himself, and that engine is going to develop a CAD output. So just imagine if I were to, or if this product were available back when Central Vista was envisaged. So I'm not sure how many drafters were responsible for creating the CAD files of that entire product, right? Just imagine the Herculean effort. And if you can do even 75% of that effort with just one prompt, and for the balance 25%, you would have drafters come in. So just imagine the kind of financial savings you can look at and the kind of work output that would be generated. Talking about such startup stories is a problem statement that I believe might be something that needs to be solved.
Yeah, I can relate to it because I did my final year project on Katia. I've been, building a 5-cylinder bumper for a truck trailer. You know, I'm a mechanical by the way, but that I could really feel, it's like a what do you call boon to people who would be using this. Such an effort.
Saurabh, now we'll get deeper into enablers. Like, why did you choose this space to build? And if you could also tell us a bit about the product. I know Mo AI is one one of the products under enablers. If you could take us through your journey for this.
So one thing was, given that I'm from this space, okay, and secondly, 2020 has been very, those time when I lost my job, and my wife also lost her job, and we had 3-year-old twins with us, and we recently bought a house in Mira Road, okay, and we moved here, so it was quite heavy on us, and we were really going through that personal crisis, mentally and exhausted completely, and I was seeking more clarity in terms of कि करूं क्या अभी. And I actually reached out. My wife says, "Yeah, तुम तो space से open to reach out to few life coach and all of this." I reached out to few people, and then I found that I cannot afford it. So that was quite a shocker to me, because something which is available, okay, and something which can actually help you change your life, why it is not accessible to everyone. So I could not digest that whole thing. So that time it was like a promise to myself ki let's make coaching accessible to all. Why not everyone? Why it is very less known subject to people. Like imagine people, those who have gone through COVID, and what kind of mental stress they would have been. There would be a lot of people across the world must be suffering, finding their own way to do things, right? So something not available, and most importantly something not available as a first step, without any stigma attached, to no judgment. There's no such thing as available. If you go to people and talk, they start judging you, thinking about you, start giving you advice. So I was not looking for anything else. I was just looking for some clarity in terms of abhi karu kya. And it was like a it was like a pran to me कि नहीं कुछ तो करूंगा इसके बारे में. तो इसको बना खुद को एक प्रॉमिस हो गया था कि यार इसको कुछ करते हैं. And then in between all the journeys happened, in terms of building product, because I was too keen into product. Product was something which always happened to me in terms of building something. So that was there. I parked that, and started looking at the avenues available, how people are accessing, all those things. And in October 2022, I actually started working on it in terms of key. I think this is the way. Let's do something about it, because we did a lot of study on the market also in terms of it's just not that solving the problem, but also that is fine. That gives you direction in terms of kisko banana hi hai accessible. Sabke liye banana hai. Okay. And then we went out, we did surveys, we understood two markets of coaches available. One is on the YouTuber, those who are claiming themselves to be a coach. One is genuine people who are actually coach. They want to help you, credible, certified by ICF, Martian
And
coach.
Saurabh, just to obstacle, you were also telling me that 80 or 90% of these coaches, they are not certified.
85, yeah. So actually International Coach Federation is the governance body across the world, and as per the stat last year, 43% plus people are not certified. And but when I started working on it, and with my survey, local players and all, the percentage is more than 85%. People are not certified, they can claim themselves as a coach, and you as a coach or a person who is seeking something like that, do not have any vetting mechanism to vet these people. Today you put a message on Instagram, you have 40 people coming to you as a coach, and trust me, none of them will be worth. It will waste your time. So this was the first problem we identified, by the way. So we started thinking accessibility problem ko solve karni. We went out in the market and found that authenticity is the biggest problem that exists today in the market. Now, since I knew B2B space, I worked in corporate, so I knew that this is how I will start, because I know psyche of people, how process works, how HR thinks, what are things they, do things, how coaching works inside. So I started from that space, and then I found that companies are asking me that, can you bring the coach along? Can you share the profiles? So they were deep issues. Okay. So that's how we did. So first, what we did was, first we built a prototype in, it was Ganesh Chaturthi, September 23. We built first a listing platform. We got all the coaches on board. And that time we built our own evaluation metrics. So we rigorously selected coaches. Our acceptance rate is just 15 to 20% as of today also. And we first filter was that we will not work with anybody who is not certified. And there are two kind of people. People who are certified but not done their practice.
Yes.
Also. And there are people who are certified, done the practice, delivered commercialized experience, and they know that, okay, and they know their problem area. There are a lot of things that we witnessed later when we started. I've personally met hundreds of coaches, understanding that how do they work, what do they do. So we built the listing platform, started, bana diya pura, and then went out to corporate, started meeting HR leaders, CHROs, A6 and all. And अच्छा है, सब अच्छा, but it actually failed in my eyes, because it was like they said कि "छी, बहुत बढ़िया किया आपने, but जब when we need it, we'll let you know." So that time I thought that no, this is not what I want, because it's a product-led business I want to build, right? I want to build something product. I'm not a consulting company or a learning L&D vendor जिसको बोलते हैं. We are not like that. So I did not want to have the service thing in my ever. So we did okay, ठीक है, let's we took a lot of feedback in terms of authenticity, and it passed in terms of people were asking, can you share profiles in meetings, virtual meetings जो हम कर रहे थे. And I started pitching from day one only. Listing platform बनाने के बाद business pitch मेरा चालू था. ठीक है, हम कुछ supply करते हैं, we can obviously do business, right? We got people virtual meetings where they used to say, can you introduce the coach? Yes, we bring the coach on the meeting and all that. But actually, it did not. For me, it failed completely. Then by the time my partner Jagmohan Rishi was there on board. He's a master coach, he's stakeholder, and I say PCG. And then we discussed, let's give them a free experience, because we want to be in digital space. We do not want to be in traditional space. And we took some time. We built a matchmaking model where employers can log in on the platform, find a coach, suitable coaches. That time we did not do a lot of labeling and all, because my failures taught me just make something and go out, right? Do not spend much time. So we just did, we went out, people registered on our platform, okay, but not to the expectations. Then we also realized our learning was कि HR is busy fraternity. You can't ask them to register, do things, do that. And that was our learning, and we did not want to, एक समय ऐसा आया था कि people, right? So we go them and we पकड़ के, please register, I told you, and all those things. So there were a lot of follow up and all happening. So for me, it failed. So that was January 24, by the way. By the time we built that out, January 24, then we said, and then by that time AI companion market was already starting in terms of assistance, co-pilot assistance. Co-pilot word started coining more, and then we had this AI companion acting as an assistant. That was kind of conversations happening, and then we thought that key, and we were nowhere near to accessibility, by the way, that time, which I started with. So what we did was we actually done our research, took personal feedback from HR leaders, people those who are spending a lot of money on coaching. How does it involves, what problems, how do they look at? Few people are just asked me, अच्छा कितने में मिलेगा, मेरा तो 1 करोड़ का खर्चा, all those things. And then we also looked at more problems from the target audience mouth. The HR is managing end-to-end things manually, entire coaching process, right from assessing the needs of coaching. Onboarding coaches takes 2 to 4 months. Okay, we got these things. We also looked at there's no scalability happening in the whole space. So anybody should get coach from anyone. And there's something which automates everything that HR offload kar de sara apna work. And that's how coaching should be done. So we found those words, scalability, from accessibility to authenticity, scalability. And then we also found that there is no standard measurable framework in coaching today that exists. Coaches share their own formats, templates to share the progress. And HR has no clue what is happening between those two people. And accountability doesn't come out in terms of ki, up kya next, what is next happening, how does it work, where did it work, and how it will be applied in future. So we picked up another word called focused outcome. There was no focused outcome on coaching. Coaching is happening. People are spending money, and also by that time we had the capability to use AI. Okay. And that's how we actually pivoted to AI native products. And it took a lot of time for us. I think almost 35 months to abhi humko ho gaye. And that time from we took 9-10 months to build this whole thing. We studied European markets very closely and US, North America, which is you. आप समझ लो कि 45% of the world coaches on that side, North America, Europe. So we studied that. We studied pricing factors, and we studied how we can actually build something which is actually accessible, and solve other 3 problems also. So we built this completely digital coaching platform, and whatever we did, so far as a prototype, we did not discard it because it was solving one vertical problem. So we added those and built a platform, which today we have enablers. So still it was not solving accessibility problem completely, but we built 2 products over a bit of time. Right. So by mid of 2024, AI companion was getting very popular, we started getting inquiry also ki, do you have an AI coach? Then we thought that ki again pivoting will happen because market pura change ho raha hai. Traditional model already exists. Then we thought, okay, let's club these two and create something. So we also then by end of December, October, November, something like that, we also built our own customer advisory board. We got industry. So I met lots of people so far. I actually requested them to join us on our customer advisory board. We have 10 top leaders today from the industry on our board to guide us, gives us insights from industry outlook, challenges they face, and it gives us different perspective in terms of how we are moving towards coaching and how coaching can evolve. So by December 20, we actually had two products, Ina and Moy. Moy was not actually ready to be used by that time. Moy actually started to be used by June actually. So Ina was complete and as an MVP, and Ina what it does, it like it's a product which actually offloads all the HR activities in terms of coaching, and the model is 45+% cost efficient compared to traditional coaching model that exists today. So what INA does it, INA actually on INA people can assess their coaching needs at no cost. Okay, because these are additional expenses we identified in the market, for assessing coaching needs. There are different assessments available. INA actually captures your wellness snapshot. INA actually captures a professional journey, which is used by our own proprietary AI algorithm to match the profile of the employee with the best fit coaches available on the platform. So this whole platform actually solves accessibility problem in terms of costing so that more and more people get coached. It also uses solves authenticity problem because we use same evaluation metrics today as well to shortlist our coaches. They go live once they pass that screening process, and we give them fellowship to work with us. And then scheduling happens on the platform itself. Let's say companies are using different assessments, let's say Hogan or 360-degree assessment, depending on the objective of the company, right? So users can actually upload those assessments through link on our platform, and coach prepares well before even connecting. Most importantly, we also found a lot of things which is happening, like coach chemistry not matching. These were the terms we learned. So our platform makes sure that more than 90+% of the time chemistry matches just through matchmaking algorithm that we have right now on the platform. So that's how we envision the entire product. Then comes the focus outcome thing. So we build a process where after every session, the system collects neutral brief as per ICF guideline, from the coach, and our coach experience team validates those briefs. We take feedback from the users for every session. We do that to make sure that if there's an amendment required, we do that. If there is any changes required, we do that. But we keep moving towards a focused outcome. So system, we generate reports at the end of the coaching sessions. Whatever number of sessions we do, and our enablers, the whole platform, which is a B2B SaaS based, platform, it gives one coaching sessions every 2 weeks throughout the year, so you can use coaching throughout the year. The license are rotational, in a place which actually saves more cost for the company. So that's how ina got released, and we released MVP. Moy we kept building, which is an agentic AI coach which acts as a human. We kept training models. We wrote our own transcripts for almost 1.5 years and trained the model in terms of for almost all the themes that exist, which relates to personal and professional lives. Okay, so we built Moy. Initially, the response was not that good. We were not happy, and then we went deeper into training the model. That's why it took time. Otherwise, we would have it have been out in December 24 itself. So Moy actually we built Moy. Moy is an actually, it's an AI coach, acts as a human. It is emotionally resilient. It is empathetic. It is non-judgmental. Okay, in nature, it builds psychological safety around you when you chat with Moy, and you can chat in out or use voice methods. For any kind of problem that you face, which is led to, you know, life or career growth, productivity, leadership, anything, and it is trained for all the levels in the organizations. Moy gave a you know, like real, contribution to our vision, making coaching accessible to every employee. And we have achieved that at a 90% cost efficiency today, right? The AI coach that is there. And you can use it 24/7. We also studied kind of workforce that we have today, who is the persona of people working in companies. We train the model based on those personas, like how Gen Zs would look at it, how they would not like to be judged and just look at first level support. So today, what is happening is there is no learning interventions which is a part of workflow. It is all periodic structure. If you take example of ChatGPT, Why do we say that it increases productivity? Because it becomes a part of your workflow. The mails you've been writing in 15, 20, half an hour, you are writing in 2 minutes. So anything that becomes a part of workflow increases your productivity. OA becomes a part of your workflow. I have a problem right now. I go there, I chat. And it's a coach. It doesn't give you a solution, ask you more questions to build awareness with you, getting insight deeper with your kind of problem area, you as a person. So it's hyper personalized model. Okay. So it understands you better, build those awareness, be in the present, and actually then it can help you work on one or two things what you can start it right now and then come back. So that's how it can even ask you if you're very stressed to do deep breathing with you right now. Would you like to try out? That's how he will talk. So that's how Moe has been designed. So both these products, so Moe actually helped us achieve our vision of accessibility. And today we are of course in a B2B space. I don't know how the future look like in terms of market segment, but yes, employees would really benefit with this. The most important thing that we did, that we also studied in terms of what is that we are giving to the organizations overall with Moe. Okay. So because with ENA, the traditional coaching now happens digitally, which is efficient and you don't have to do anything, right? Moe actually we use data analytics, anonymized data analytics, to create some sentiment analysis out of all the chats that happen in the organization, which gives you insights, actionable insights, I would say level wise, like actionable insights in terms of what is the pulse of my organizations. Is it 28% negative or 14% positive, whatever? It also gives you insights in terms of uh, you know, uh, what is happening at level wise, the problem areas. Okay, what percent of people are chatting on what subject area? It's anonymized, so no personal information is available, but it gives you huge input in terms of looking at, okay, 38% people are chatting on managerial problems, or 28 percent people are chatting on work stress, right? So this gives you insights. It also gives you TNI, what we call training need, identifications. So it gives you those identification needs in terms of you should do these kind of trainings in your company. So this is just the beginning. Of course, it gives you ROI because it's 90% cost efficiency compared to any other model that exists in the world today. Most importantly, AI feels, if AI feels that the problem area which is being chatted should be handled by a human, it will give you professional recommendations. So let me come to the point of ethical AI that we have, right? So we have built a lot of guardrails, okay, which actually flags issues of sexual harassment, suicidal tendencies, temper issues, any mental issues, and we get to know that, Moe will highlight that, and also it will recommend the person to connect with human coach if let's say that client has got both Ina and Moe. So from Moe, you can switch directly to Ina in terms of a connect with the coach right there. Okay. And then AI uses that work. If not, then it gives you professional help. Today, we are training the model globally in terms of picking up like Kiran helpline number, Niti Aayog's K and all, depending on the cases. And it can ask you to talk, all those things. Later in the reports, depending on the volume of chats, like company decides to do it quarterly or monthly, it comes out that these were the flags. So with 2.0, much more things are coming. 1.0 is already live, and we are building all these things there, so
So, Saurabh,
that's
can you talk to some early wins for us for this particular model that you have? So, talk about those, please.
so today. So we started giving a lot of free trials to employees, like 5 employees, 10 employees that we had, and we witnessed use cases. Right now we have a client who has actually in a layoff process, people have been asked to leave, and they're using it to for the employees as a career companion as well as emotional support. That is there. That's how we started with our first thing. For INA, we already have a SOS Sanitary company for executive coaching already on board since August that we have right now. So this is how we started getting traction from August onwards. After we went live with Ina in December 24 and Moe in June 24, we already have a very good like we are already in some stage in good market company, another companies for Moe pallets. So right now we are offering pilots of Moe to companies because across the world, this something like this, what we are building agentic AI coach is actually at a pilot stage only. Nobody has an established product. So
So,
we
Saurabh, are these pilots paid
yeah,
pilots
yeah.
or discounted?
I normally do not believe in free pilots. We can
Perfect.
give free access for 15 days, 30 days, for even if you want for 1 month, 2 month. But normally we believe in paid pilots because let me tell you what we have achieved in this. So for Moe, we are building a customization layer. Okay, let's say big company, has their own leadership competencies. All big companies have defined leadership competencies. They have their own ethos in terms of mission, vision, values, code of conduct, cultural aspects of it. They have persona of people working in different segments, different demographies, plant level, corporate level, and all. So we train Moe to customize the whole layer with respect to the company. And then imagine the sentiment analysis which gets delivered post this customization with respect to those level. So this is a paid effort, okay? And first we give it as a global layer that we have right now. And in 25 days, we can customize it and deliver to the company. And everything has a cost. Today, I believe that if you give completely a free pilot or something, doesn't have much value. People don't use it.
Exactly. So that's been my learning as well. And that's what I tell the founders who are working in the B2B SaaS space. So I tell them that, okay, never have the customer experiment on your dime.
Yeah.
Because even you have to survive for another day, right? So, and if you offer them free pilots, you're basically getting them to experiment for their use case at your expense. And you have a company to run, you have mouths to feed. So, how are you going to do it if you're doing it for free? All those pilots are for free.
And actually,
So-
we witnessed, I'm doing right now, almost 15 to 25 demos a month. Okay. And it was not the same numbers. I hardly had 5 demos, 7 demos. I kept the one thing which we did, or, kept meeting people, talking about it. And today I see that key Moe has an interest area. Decision making could be a problem, but
Right.
it has an attraction. People like it because it's just available and you can go to Moe. Nobody's watching you.
No, I have a kind of a topic to discuss with Gaurav. So Gaurav, you have been into the leadership space for the last 2-3 years. Would you also like to share about your experiences around coaching, since you have been a part of a few of the bigger organizations? How coaching is being done? How much is it useful? And what are the scopes of improvement over there?
So if I go to the earliest years when I actually started my professional career, so I was lucky enough to actually get into two leadership programs. One was with an Indian MNC and one was with a US MNC. So both the leadership programs, they were essentially geared towards developing competencies in a particular role, or let's say in a particular industry segment. So let's say if I were to be talking about supply chain leadership, so those stints that I did with General Electric as part of the OMLP, so those 2 years, they were really instrumental in getting me to get some idea around what supply chain is looking like and how to actually have metrics around it, what kind of dashboards need to be put in. And basically, it took me through multiple industries and supply chain of those industries. So that was, so those are my formative years. But subsequently, what I saw, and in my last company as well, as part of the CEO opportunity that I had, there we had more because it was a traditional business enterprise, and so there were offsites and not geared towards what Saurabh's building right now. But yeah, I could see that okay, there is a huge market for this, and there's a market for both offline as well as online play. So the regular training offsites that normally these companies do, wherein they have 200 to 300 either leadership staff or even regular employees come in for those offsite meetings. So those are different, and possibly the use case that Saurabh is building for, that is very different. Because even over the last 2 years, I've been trying to reach out to coaches who are ICF certified, and who have the right pedigree. So even I feel the need at a certain point in time. So I believe that even as you grow in the leadership hierarchy, the air tends to get rarefied, and so you need a sounding board who can actually help you make sense of things. So even there, I believe coaching opportunities are there. So even leaders at a personal level also require coaches. So that's been my learning so far.
Very true, because I'll tell you the kind of chats I'm witnessing in demo and learning that at that level, what kind of problem they must be facing. They don't talk about it. And every level has their own problems. So ultimately, we have such kind of security. We are giving confidence on security to people in terms of encrypted chats and all those things, because that is what is being asked first. So that's the kind of, we are building that environment, and we already have that. We're just building it to show it off, how does it work and all everything. And it's very there. In fact, even in the one-on-one personal engagement that happens, personalized coaching with human, post that what happens. So there's nothing to keep you learning on bouncing those things in terms of, okay, I'm going to a boardroom today, I have these two things to do. Moy, can I'm thinking this. Oh, how should we address this? We have 30% less engagement rate. How should we address this? So Moy doesn't give you answers, like he's a coach. Ask you more
Exactly.
questions to get you to the answers. So that's the whole fun. Different level have different level of problems. Women have a different level of problems. So what we did with 2.0 is like we're taking some inputs, because we are not taking any personal details. We are taking some inputs. It's like, what level do you work? What is your location? What is your gender? So in future, it will give us much more insights about kind of problem people are facing. And this will be, imagine the insight that it gives to people in terms of what they're doing, the L&D interventions. It will give you a picture in terms of ki 50% to aapka pulse hi negative hai. Companies, then they will think how we will sell and where it will impact. Those answers we don't have, but at least tell you who tells you that.
So you get a sense of direction that, okay, this is a secular trend that the entire general population that I have. So let's say if I have 10,000 people in the company, so what is the sense check?
So absolutely. It tells you that 28% people are, the whole sentiment is negative. So, and sort of now when you say sentiment is negative, imagine about productivity.
Exactly. So
Imagine
there's a
about
direct
ROI.
correlation there.
Sort of, what are the major objections do you face? Like, would you like to also talk around maybe answering to those objections, maybe, which are in the minds of the CHROs or the L&D heads?
It's very mixed. I have been straightforward, being taken left, right, center also to tell you. But yes, I think that one is like there is an attraction, and senior people. I speak to CHROs mostly, and they come to the demo. Okay, and they sometimes they're exploring in terms of, okay, this is there, and sometimes they know that this is needed, may not be able to take decisions. Okay, that is there. And objection in terms of few people who definitely tell me, no, this is not going to work. What is this? This I have got those feedback also. And then other side, I see that people, those who see this as a valuable thing, it's a value creating, process. They would ask me like, how about the chat security? Okay, who is accessing the chats? How does the security works? Are you GDPR compliant or not? Because we are a European company based out of here. Are you DPDD compliant or not? So those security questions comes in. Those discussions
But
happen.
why do they, why do this chunk of people feel that it's not going to work out?
See, one is like we need to understand. People do not understand the difference between AI agents as well as LLMs like OpenAI and all ChatGPT. They will say that how it is different from ChatGPT. So what I do is I write the same query here, problem, copy it, paste it there in ChatGPT, show them कि ये आपका encyclopedia है. It is not. It doesn't have any goal. Like it's like next Google for us now. Okay, people are going there. But pehle we used to go there. Now we're going there. It gives you standard answers. So I show directly to people, this is the difference. We need to understand. GPT doesn't have any goals. It is very reactive to what you ask. AI agents are also called purpose-built AI, which has a goal and it is acting before replying to you. And it doesn't give you suggestions or my model, there could be different applications. In our case, like it doesn't give you answers or standard solutions to it. It will get deeper inside you first, build awareness with you that who you are, what kind of problem, what level of problem, where in leadership you get stuck or where in communication you get stuck, and then start working on one or two things to pick up, right? That's why it happens. Most importantly, with AI agents, it can start thinking 2-3 steps ahead than you about you also in future, right? So it can help you better because it's micro personalized. So those things need to be experienced. That's why I give like every demo. I just release 5 experience, free trials. कि आप experience करो and send it to different people and try it out and let me know how is the experience. Our chats gets moderated by coach. My partner is a coach. So we look at that कि क्या हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, and there are a lot to this, right? What is evolving. The lot of questions which will come in future, like instances being with ChatGPT, somebody followed and suicide and all those things. So we keep thinking about. So the 2.2 first instinct was let's build flags. Okay, let's build guardrails, make it more secure. We should know what is happening because we cannot look into the chats. So those things are very much important. So this whole space I have been studying as AI companion space now. So HR Tech to overall arc hai, right? Now AI companion space is already 30% growth rate every year now. It's going to be a $150 billion market in next 5 years. So I'm seeing that there are still questions by VCs in terms of the being an ethical AI, in terms of like security, not in terms of encryption of chat, security in terms of not taking wrong decisions or not giving wrong advice. Those are the things which is, we keep working on those things. So how you're controlling the entire thing, because today ChatGPT can give you anything, everything. And that's why Sam Altman has warned people that it is not for your life issues or career issues. Don't do that on ChatGPT, right? I think 17% flow to India से ही है ask वहाँ पे. In which 2% are personal issues that is being discussed there in AI space.
Saurabh, just one thing about so when you were talking about this, it struck a chord with me that okay, when you said that okay, the tool will be able to the agent will be actually able to see 2 steps ahead in your journey that okay, this is what's going to happen. Is that on account of the training data that you have? That probably let's say if I'm a deputy manager HR in a company that has 5,000 employees, so because your set already has people who have been in that journey at that point in time. So you will be able to then figure out that, okay, hey, if Gaurav is a deputy manager HR who is in such a company, these are the next probable 2 steps that can happen because you already have that directional sense that, okay, what normally happens for people who are in this particular cohort. So
Yeah,
is
so
that how it builds?
it will be, looking at, so what we are building at the next 3.0 may, it will have a complete monitoring and tracking of your activities in terms of, okay, we discussed about these two things. Have you done that or not? Follow up. It will start tracking on your goals.
Hmm.
Okay. And it will get to know you, start knowing you with your charts only. Okay, not a reference I'm talking about. So when we are
Hmm.
building a global layer, we already written lots of transcripts in terms of problem areas, how coaching
Hmm.
happens, all the conversation that happens, what kind of questions. In coaching, it
Hmm.
is called as powerful questions, right? So
Hmm.
what kind of situation is there? What kind of questions coach is asking? Those are there. But now
Hmm.
what will happen is like, as Gaurav goes to more, Gaurav talks to more about leadership, or Gaurav talks to more about maybe stress issues. Okay,
Hmm.
then in
Yeah.
3.0 we'll actually bringing it in terms of the tracking. Okay, how is it today? What level? We'll go much more deeper in terms of
Hmm.
understanding you with respect to you, not with respect to other data. Other data helps you in terms of, that's again a global layer in terms of understanding. Okay, इतने तरीके के लोग होते हैं, इतने तरीके का प्रॉब्लम होता है, all those
Hmm.
things. Today Mo
Hmm.
is capable of thousands of themes you can chat. So that's the kind of work we have done. But yes,
Hmm.
we will make sure that it is actually a companion to you. You start feeling that company, that kind of hook we want to build on our product, going forward. There's a lot more work to do.
Yeah.
It should. So what is happening? A couple of stories you've seen that why people are using, OpenAI and all those things, because they need someone to talk to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not only in the low times,
So
in the
in real
high
life
times. So
connections,
yes, they need.
yeah,
Okay,
IRLs are required.
this much.
Hmm.
I'm very happy to tell you, wow, that's great to hear. It will take the conversation forward again, in the both the times,
Hmm.
because with more lot of happiness also it gets overwhelmed.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's
Very
it's
true.
it's not only कि हम challenge पे train कर रहे हैं. It's like completely anything that comes to your mind. You have a companion who listens to you. So one very important feature of Mo is it listens deeply
Hmm.
to people and doesn't judge you and not giving you. So most of the time people need an eye like a best friend, right? Sorry, ear
Mhm.
as a best
Yeah.
friend to सुन सके हमको. So we have
Yes.
looked at those things in terms of how something like this can help people day in day out. It's available 24/7.
Great. Gaurav, you have any, kind of, thoughts on this space, the risks involved, or, what may be the fallback options?
Actually, yeah, I was going through a couple of conversations around this because this is actually a burning topic right now, and artificial intelligence, everyone talks about it. So, yeah, just like you mentioned, sort of, most of my questions around the privacy guidelines, the GDPR regulations, or the DPDP, the Act here in India. So, if all of those are taken care of, I believe, just like you mentioned, sort of during a conversation, that okay, we need adequate guardrails to be put in place like the conversation with Sam Altman also, wherein there was a Senate Congressional Committee hearing, wherein he was asked to come in and talk about it because there was a suicide, someone committed a
Yeah.
suicide, and all of those things that happened. So we actually need guardrails in place to contain the system because as it's a very new space, it's a very nascent space, and so even the regulators are not very sure how to regulate this particular industry, what kind of framework should be had. So there has to be some kind of prudence on part of the founders as well, and the entire set of stakeholders who are there in the ecosystem, they should understand that okay, there are certain norms that we need to all abide by, and
Mm.
then play by those rules.
Absolutely. See, a lot of things which is good to have, that ICF has already released AI standard frameworks for us.
Mhm.
It was a very good direction that we got, because we should know that what not to do.
Right.
Mm.
Most importantly, so we follow that as a playbook. Plus, we also have our own proprietary holistic coaching framework, which I did not
Right.
forgot to mention. It's a Thrive framework, which
Thrive. Yeah.
actually,
I
yeah,
read about that.
Thrive model, which actually follows step by step process to moving towards a focused outcome, which is currently missing from the current process. So what we're doing is, it's like it demarks, we are AI coach. Okay, Mo is an AI coach. So ICF advises us to clearly remarks that we are not a therapist, we are not into mental therapy space, we are not into consulting, coaching, advising, anything. That disclaimer we take, when user signs up. We also let the user know how data is being used, you know as per, see, DPDT, whatever guidelines are there as of today. So we are also awaiting the operating guidelines right now, which is as soon as comes, will implement that. On all those aspects, I would say legal and compliance, we are completely adhering to it. We have an expert on board already as legal, and we take advice from, like, let's say, even if we are thinking of introducing to maybe Singapore or Dubai to try out, so we will follow the guidelines. So I'm totally a compliance person. I'll follow those compliances. Then only we'll reach out to someone. Okay, that's how we believe it. And these things actually helps people to understand, and we clearly say this, and we take consent. Even on the security guidelines, there is a consent in terms of, if user wants that data, then only user can access those data. It is all consent based. So and we do not have nobody has access to those data. We are following those layers. Very soon we are planning to publish this on the website also, in terms of how we are secured and how layers works. So whoever wants
This
can
will actually build a lot of confidence
Yeah.
in the company's abilities.
Because I get these
Thanks for doing
questions
that.
in every demo.
Yeah.
That's a good question to ask. Any organization would ask these questions in terms of how my chats are secured, who is accessing my chats. Then comes the compliance, legal, as well as the guidelines in terms of the geography guidelines based on the country, and plus it also has to come from this the inbuilt privacy architecture that we have. How we have built the whole thing. So that is there.
Gaurav, would you also like to ask a bit around the funding thing, like which Saurabh may be looking for?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for bringing that up. So, sorry if you're comfortable talking about it. So, yeah, your numbers so far and your ask. So, please walk us through that.
Numbers, I believe that we still we're just gearing up and need to get more. Right now, I think from August we are doing around 1.5 lakhs per month as in monthly revenue, and we are planning to raise around $500,000. There are lot of work on the product side, which we believe, and we are witnessing while developing, working on the development, we are witnessing new things coming up on its own. Like, just to give you an example of, just chat experience might get into a multi-agent mode, because users feedback are helping us to understand, can we get this as a help, or can we get this? So those feedbacks we are capturing and understanding that it is going to go much more there. Completely on a manpower side, I would expecting at least 55% of expense, which includes product and sales. We also need to build a sales pipeline, and customer support. Around 24-25% would be marketing expense completely, and then other things would be general admin expenses. That I believe that we have achieved a good level of MVP, and always believed in getting users on board no matter what stage you are in. And now we want to go towards a marketable product, okay, and that would have certain age, like product stability, how it differs geography to geography, right? So currently we establish ourselves in India, get some pilots in other places, and take feedback, and then probably plan to move out. So I feel that the product still has a lot of capability, more to serve other markets, as soon as possible. Plus, but yes, we wanted to capitalize from India. We're starting that, we're doing that, and we're still capturing that market. We're trying to. We have a pipeline. We are building those pipelines and generating good interest in terms of number of demos and a few interest in second meeting, third meeting kind of things we're doing, right? That's the whole.
So, where are you in your fundraising journey right now? So, how many conversations have you had so far? I know it's been a long journey. You started in 2020, but yeah, just talk us through it.
So I have met more than 500 people so far in terms of this, because, and then also learned, just to tell you, I also did a course in VC and PI in COVID to understand that ki mujhe kyun reject ho raha hai, what does it involve to get funding and all. So that was a that was an eye opener from me ki how the space works, how people invest, why do they invest and all. So right now, so Danny has been reaching out to a lot of people. I also understood whom not to reach out for last, what did I did in the past. So currently I'm
please, I'll put a pin on that because I have a follow-up question regarding this, because you have to give advice to founders at the end of the episode. So, yeah.
So that is totally on the technical factors. Like, so right now my focus is like people who knows my space. I want them to be part of it. Okay. I'm reaching out to angels also. I'm reaching out to VCs also. Okay. I see that my learning is a lot of challenge in terms of understanding the space, and the potentiality of the space is still a question when it comes to AI, decision making. Whenever I look at companies who are investing in AI and everything. I just grab them from ET and research, and they said, okay, these companies are actually investing, so let's reach out to these companies. I just apply that. So right now, multi approaching companies, those who first I see that key, those who know the space, and secondly, I also see that those who are investing into AI based solutions, agents, AI agentic solutions, and all those things. Plus, angels, I'm reaching out whoever I know. I just reach out, send my deck, and talk to them and see that. I still see that there is expectations on more customers to be in before I become this. But that is always there. See, the idea was to build a very disruptive product, okay, which works on accessibility. We have achieved that to basic level in terms of, okay, we know that this can achieve our vision, and we need funds to actually develop those things as of now. And it does well. But with basics, what we have built right now, we have not received any feedback in terms of experience, but we know that as a founder that, okay, what needs to be done and what we are thinking, envisioning things in terms of products. So, and Ina, you know what I have told you right now, it is just starting. It is going to become like a co-pilot. That's how I am envisioning Ina. It will add so much value to the enterprise, so much value. So I'm just waiting for funds right now. And
Yes,
parallelly,
Gaurav.
yes, my pitch for my marketing sales is every day on. That's all.
Gaurav, you had a question.
So that question is around whatever learnings that Saurabh would like to leave the founders with, whichever founder is listening to this conversation. So Rishikesh, I would like to park that question. If you have anything else, probably that might be the closure for the interview.
Hey, this is good. This is good. So we have kind of discussed the product. I was hoping of more questions from the side of Gaurav, like, around this space. So if you have anything in your mind, like, you want to understand something about this space or
No, I actually got the inputs through your pitch deck and through Saurabh's pitch here today. So whatever Saurabh was trying to explain about the product that he's building, I got most of my answers from there. So
nice.
thank you, Saurabh, for including everything there.
Yeah, sure.
That is the 20th version of pitch deck. That's also a huge learning. I have learned, first thing I learned is like now we are talking on the learning questions. So of course the list is huge, but I'll share with you a couple of things. Like, founders should make their own pitch deck, and I have never even my failed products and never outsourced my pitch deck because nobody could do that for me. You're a founder. You need to put your things, and I have made bizarre pitch decks and then learned from it, and then or PC or support source करने के बाद then I like I still think that there is a feedback. So recently, if you know Venture,
Yeah.
there's Tom and all written a book on B2B SaaS playbook. It's amazing book written, and they have built a platform where you can analyze your pitch deck, and it gives you slide wise feedback. So I still have feedback on a couple of slides, by the way. I improvise that. So just to tell you that. Secondly, I feel that we should stick to what we're doing. Things changes. As a founder, if you have an idea, and any idea can be executed, what happens mostly is like market change ho jayega, product will change, you will pivot it. But if you believe to be in the game, stick to it and it will work. When we started prototypes and all, we have a journey. We never knew that we'll go to an AI native products. You need to stick to this, and it will work. That's only thing is like you need to see that, okay, I need to do this, and build something for the world, whatever. Why I'm being able to stick to it, because I always wanted to do something which is bigger, global, you know, not falling in the trap of, and one thing which I started realizing very soon that, okay, I can do anything, don't need to go back. People in the family would have a different view, but I'm just telling you this because this was giving me
Yeah.
more energy every day.
Yeah.
Secondly, I would, share with my fellow founders that don't build a good product. Good product never said. Build something and be resourceful. Resourcefulness is a word where, just see that you can create an Excel sheet or an image or a video or something like that. Go to the customer and see that this is what I'm doing, and how do you see that? What can you do? And then those feedback incorporated in the product, that really matters. So why do I say that there are lots of work to be done in the product? Because I know now. Because when we went out, we were building what we wanted to build. Now it is companies are giving me a lot of feedback. We have incorporated slowly in Ina also. Right from the demos. Why don't you do this? Still, we even after imagining that a lot of work we are offloading from HR, still there were more. Then HR said, okay, why don't you do this? We will have to do it. So all those things are there. Second, and I also, my final thing to founders is like ki action karo yaar. Daily basis to do action it every day, every night, whatever you can do, because and it's okay. not knowing certain things. I was very poor in finance, okay,
Mm.
and I never had confidence, and that was one of the reason I got my first co-founder in my first company. And I was wrong. You will learn. Well, when you're doing things comes, you will learn. Don't feel that as soon as. So today you ask me anything and everything, right from a very exhaustive, financial planning. I made a very exhausting one. Then I started with getting leaner because what ask was different. Okay, can you share me a 2 year, 3 year? And I made the whole world, and I never knew how to make it.
Great.
So today,
No, this is great.
that's what it is. So finance nahi aata tha mujhe. I was not a salesperson. Trust me. So you can do that. So when you are in, you follow an instinct and you learn to do whatever you want to do, but keep doing something. Action
Sure.
karna bahut zaruri hai aaj ke time pe. And no action
Yeah.
for me, I feel like a dead man. So that's that.
Great, Saurabh. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, and thank you, Gaurav, for joining us on this podcast. I think this will be extremely insightful for all the CHROs who will be listening to this podcast in our community. Dawdle community is already 125,000 plus, and we hope that we keep on adding more and more CXOs into the community in the coming time. Thank you so much, Saurabh, for building such a fabulous product that you have been building and helping so much, so many employees across the globe. And thanks, Gaurav, for your insightful questions, your insights into funding, fundraise, and all the relevant questions around this domain. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you, Rishikesh. Thank you, Gaurav. Would like to connect with you those days.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank
Same
you.
as Saurabh.
Have a good day, everyone.